Chapter 5, a lot of development in chapter 4. Cain killed Abel, Cain and Abel are both sons of Adam and Eve. Cain kills Abel, and then they have a lot of babies, and they go through a lot of technological development. Instruments, iron and bronze, harvesting, like mining, I don't know how they got it, and shaping. I don't know what the explanations are, because I'm recording this before reading the comments on that video. Chapter 5 is from Adam to Noah. This is a big part of what I referenced in the earlier videos, but people lived a long time, and this is one of the justifications for young earth creationism, because you can literally just count back the generations from like Jesus all the way back to Adam, supposedly. Well, I mean, literally you can. It's written down here, but that's the accepted theory for a certain group of people. This does not represent all Christians. There's a lot of forms of Christianity and religious belief. That's just the one that I was raised in, which you'll know if you watch from the beginning. Watch from the beginning so I can get more views. From Adam to Noah, chapter 5. This is the written account of Adam's family line. This might be our first boring chapter, because I know that those exist. If this holds up long enough and I make it to like Numbers and Deuteronomy, there are some rough chapters in there. Like, the views are certainly going to be low, but out of integrity, I'm still going to, God, there's so much. Out of integrity, I'm still going to read them, because we got to do it all. We got to get through this whole thing. But yeah, from Adam to Noah, this is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he created them in the likeness of God. Nice. That's cool. So we all look like God. Some of us. Some people probably not. He created them male and female and blessed them. And he named them mankind when they were created. So I think this just means like humanity in general. Well, definitely, that's what it means. But the literal translation is mankind. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. That is the structure for every person we're about to read about for an entire chapter. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died. I don't know why this is the structure of the way they did things. Maybe just for record keeping, which calls into question like how much of this is literal, straightforward, again, all the way to Jesus. You can trace it through Abraham, like Noah to Abraham to Moses, to, I think that's the right order, to Jesus, eventually Malachi. Is he David? David, I think, is in there. And that leads to Joseph. And then even though that's the whole line, maybe it's Mary. Maybe it is Mary. I thought it was to Joseph, and then it's like, well, how is that the line all the way to Jesus? If like Joseph had no part, because I mean, again, spoiler alert, but Mary is not impregnated by sex. She's magically impregnated by God, which is let's just say interesting. Trying to play it neutral. Where was I? Seth, and then he died. Oh, right, that's where we left off. And then he died. Get ready for a whole lot more of that. I'm going to try not to stop over and over so we can get through this. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. Nice. We're already pausing again. It's like Kenan and Kel. I like the Kenan from Saturday Night Live more than I like this Kenan. I know nothing about this Kenan other than being a part of the line to Jesus. After he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Why do they just talk about Kenan? Is that because it was his first one? He doesn't talk about the other sons and daughters? Yeah, they don't care. That's kind of an insensitive culture. They don't care about the other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived a total of 905 years, and then he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. After he became the father of Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, I thought we said altogether already. I'm already confused. Altogether, Kenan had a total of 910 years, and then he died. There we go. When Mahalalel, this is like a math equation, like in school, when they're like, if this guy had this number and that guy had that number, how old is the world? When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. I love this. I love how we just picked easy names for today. You don't know anyone named Mahalalel, but I know some Jareds, and I've already named a Kenan, and there's definitely some Seths. Jared. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Surprise, surprise. Altogether, Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, these guys are fresh at not that ripe old age of 162. We know about these guys from the Civil War that were having kids when they were like 90, and this is, brace yourself if you're disturbed easily, had children with like 16-year-old girls after being in the Civil War as young men, birthed women at the age of, well, they didn't birth them, inseminated, I'm sorry to make this grosser, impregnated women that were very, very young, gave birth, and like those kids are like alive today or died recently. There's like children or grandchildren of Civil War veterans that are currently living. One of those two things I said is true. Look it up. Jeez, where was I? Jared had lived 162 years. He became the father of Enoch. I thought there was already an Enoch, but maybe that's the same one that was referenced earlier. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years precisely and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years. And then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, there we go. That's more reasonable, even though 65, if your dad's having you at 65, that's pretty insensitive. An 85-year-old dad, when you're 20, that sucks. It's hard to play ball. It's hard to play games with your dad. He probably doesn't relate to you on a technological level. He became the father, when Enoch lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Some of you guys might know Methuselah from stories. Maybe a bunch of you don't, but I'm going to tell you before the Bible says it, he's the oldest living person that we have claims of. I can't say it's proven, but it is written here in the Bible. He's the oldest one. We'll get to his age in a moment. He became the father of Methuselah. And after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God. Oh, he gets his own description. Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years. And get this, he had other sons and daughters. Can you believe it? Altogether, Enoch lived... Why did he get that description? Wait. Altogether, Enoch lived 365 years. Why? That's a big cut. Maybe it was an unnatural cause of death. Maybe it wasn't age. Maybe we saw in chapter 1, someone gets bit by, or he says the snake will strike at your heel. He could have fallen off a cliff. Someone else could have killed him. I don't know why. Enoch, and they say it again, Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was that's why. Then he was no more because God took him away. That's, wow. So if you're, what a call out. Like in the best way. Hey, you don't need to be alive anymore. Come with me. I'll take you. Come on. Yeah, come on, guy. Look, who cares about all these other people? We can hang out shoulder to shoulder. I knew that after 9 generations, someone would be worthy enough to just come with me. So you know what? Hey, that proves it. If you walk faithfully enough with God, he'll just come get you. What does that say to literally every preacher alive today? Oops. Uh-oh. I'm not going to dig into that one too deep. Anyways, Enoch was no more because God took him away. Really interesting. No one talks about that stuff in church. At least I never heard it. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. So it is kind of crossing over with some of the characters we saw earlier. We know about Lamech already. Unless it's Lamech 2, but they don't, or Lamech Jr., but it doesn't say that in the Bible. They didn't think to name people that way back then. Ha! After he became father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, here it is. Get ready. Altogether, Methuselah lived a total of 969 it doesn't say nice, years, and then he died. Altogether, Methuselah lived a total of 969 years. And then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is why they connected everything. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah and said, he will comfort us. Why did they include that here? Lamech, I guess, doesn't know what's going to happen here. I don't think Noah personally. And this is because I know what happens. I don't think Noah's going to bring a lot of comfort to the rest of the world here pretty soon. I mean, relatively speaking. If you don't know, if you know, you know. He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. Disagree. After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived a total of 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Or Japheth. It's Japheth. Let's just say Japheth. Let's just do the F sound. He became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And that is the end of chapter 5. I thought it would be less interesting than that, but here we are. Tune in next week for chapter 6.